Welcome back, guys, to the Prairie Puck podcast with our episode 11 after a 3 month hiatus, also known as me being like, "Is it time to do a pod, guys?" and everyone being like, "No, I have better things to do." So I am joined here by Jackson of Jets Hub, my brother, also with the Nolan Hockey Podcast, and Jake of Peg City Hockey. Welcome back, guys. It's a great time. But yeah, before we go any further, make sure you guys will have a link down in the description below. Join the Prairie Puck Podcast Discord. That has been recently established within the past week. It's a great time. Join up. But a lot of Jets news going on with two big signings. How are we feeling about it, boys? Just because I know there's been a lot of mixed reactions.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna be very
That answers
boring
it.
here. I'm gonna be very boring here and say I don't know, because I don't like the Shifley deal. I don't like how long it is. I think the AAV is fine for the next like 2 seasons, but I think that is a very scary contract. And if the Jets are paying that till he's 38, I mean it sucks, but
I see.
fine. I don't know. Does anyone have anything more interesting to say? Because my brain
Well,
absolutely broke.
That's
well,
how
I'll
I felt
say
the entire time. I don't want to like beat a dead horse, but I don't know how to feel. Pretty much is the best way to put it. Like I'm just so indecisive on it. It's like at moments I'm as my fandom with it. It's like yay, you know, like these are two good players that have signed long term in Winnipeg. Like that's always nice. But then you think about everything else that has gone around this team for the last few seasons, and then just to end up back here, I don't know. I really don't know how to feel. I can't explain
um
it.
I'll say this. I'll say it really reinforces the idea that a lot of our prospects are going to get stuck in log jams. We've already seen that with the defense over the past couple of years, just based on having too many players. But also, given the fact that we've give two high value contracts out to two high value players, it immediately blocks certain inroads into the Winnipeg Jets lineup for a couple prospects. You look at a possible goalie tandem in the future, and DiVincentis has a little bit of a longer road now. The fact that Hellebuck is definitely staying around, and you're also going to probably see a lot more of the Winnipeg Jets offensive prospects be weaponized for deadline acquisitions, due to the fact that they're never going to make reasonable a reasonable time on ice position player on the roster, shall we say?
Yeah, I mean, like from what I saw of the deal, the Hellebuck side of things, I'm more so okay with. When it comes to the Shifley thing, I Jackson, I'd say I'd give it about one more. I give it 3 years where I'd say that this deal is good, and then after that, it kind of gets a little murky. I will say one thing. There's a couple things of note. So first off, the cap is going to be going up, so that's something to factor in. Another thing is that I don't mind it as much for the simple fact of the matter. Like, if we take a look at some of the other deals that have been happening around the NHL and how bad some contracts can be, however bad this contract could burn us, if it burns us in the future, it's going to burn some teams a lot more than it will burn us. So have at least a little bit of reassurance with that. And then also, I looked a little bit into the no movement and no trade clause situation regarding these contracts. And so there's an immediate, I can't remember if it's a no move or no trade clause that goes in at the start for 10 teams in the NHL. However, that then changes come 2027 when it becomes more teams. I don't know how many it goes to come 2027, but I'm at least slightly reassured that 2027 is when, if that no move clause or no trade clause is really going to do damage, that's when it will happen. And I would like to think that this team would have figured out its effing direction by then, because 2027, that's 4 years away. Like I said, I give Shifley 3 years. After that, I'm just not sure. So I'd like to think in the next 4 years we can figure out what the hell we want to do with our team.
Well, it's always been the problem is the Jets really don't ever pick a direction, and just when you think they do pick a direction, they
worried.
decide to like when we traded Andrew Kopp and we got all those futures back for him. We got Barron, we got that first round pick that ended up being Brad Lambert, or eventual first round pick, whatever. And then we also were like, hey, you know what? We can still compete, and we traded for Zach Sanford. So, like, it's just been stuff like that they really want to be good, but I don't know. Like the only reason Dubois got traded is because we were forced into that situation, and we've
Yep.
seen that situation happen throughout, like for a long, long time in this organization with Jacob Trouba, right, and tons of times. But I guess now you can put the retool to bed. We're strictly competing now with what we've got, and what we've got, I think, is a good team. Are they going to be a cup contender? I'm not sure. I don't think so as of right now. But like Zach said, with the positions, you know, kind of being full at the moment, with the roster being pretty set. How does Rucker McGroarty fit in this lineup? He probably replaces Niederreiter. I'm sure Barlow will find a position, maybe Lambert, but then what does that mean for guys like Lucius, for guys like Chibrikov, all those other guys? If you're gonna compete, if you're gonna go sign these guys for big bucks and like commit to winning, actually do it. Actually go out and get a guy like for example what New Jersey did. They went out and they got Timo Meyer. Go do something like that.
I'd even
Go
bring up the
do
fact
something
that
big.
We've talked about this before, but Connor Garland, the Canucks talking today, coming out about moving him and giving permission to speak with other teams. If the Jets are being serious about competing, find a way to move a defenseman. Move a defenseman. There's Columbus right now today. They're talking about needing NHL experienced defensemen. And I don't see the Jets linked to any of this stuff right now. Like, I totally agree with you, Jackson. It feels like it finally felt like a direction was being picked, and I was on board with that. I like this idea of a retool in the next couple of years with the guys already on with contract, and then the youth coming through the system. I thought it made a lot of sense. I liked what they had. Now I just don't know, because you've just committed a monstrosity amount of time and money to two players that looked like they were out on their way 2 weeks ago when they came into camp. Like, it did not look good, and now all of a sudden they're lifers. Like, I just don't understand that situation, and it feels weird. Like, I'm happy that Connor Hellebuck's a Jet, but I couldn't agree more with that. It's just they won't fucking commit. Pardon the language, but they won't. Pick a direction.
Yeah.
You can't have one foot on every path. You can't.
So another thing that they alluded to this a bit in the interviews, because I went back and I watched the Sarah Lesky interviews, and they are a little insightful because they crack the facade of hockey player like persona a little bit here. Scheifele talks about, and we kind of had this overall consensus that Scheifele was probably going to be the one that they were more likely to re-sign than Connor Hellebuck, despite the fact that Connor Hellebuck probably holds a much higher value, given the fact that his name had been around the trade rumors, but it never really got anywhere. And Connor Hellebuck kind of let it slip a little bit in his interview. But what helped convince him was having a team that believed so much in him. And this goes back to kind of a domino effect on what is the worth of a goaltender in today's NHL. And the sad thing is, it's not as high as it used to be. It's teams can win with okay to good goaltenders if they have the proper players behind them, rather than it is more likely for a team to do that than a team having to rely on a goalie to win them a Stanley Cup. And with Connor Hellebuck, you're almost always relying on a goalie to win a Stanley Cup. So when his name was rumored out there for most of the offseason, the bids were very lackluster from what it sounded like, or non-existent to begin with. And it kind of just goes back to the fact that the Jets, there's a good chance here that the Jets gave the highest money offered to Connor Hellebuck.
Oh, without a doubt. I think that's safe to say.
For sure they did.
Absolutely. I would say for both of them. It has, like, even for Scheifele, because, you're not going to probably get that term from another team, especially with the defensive play of his game. And we know it better than anyone else. Like, he's not a complete center.
Sorry, one thing I just want to touch on here is I don't think Connor Hellebuck resigns, though, unless that Mark Scheifele deal gets done. And I think that's largely why the Jets went out and they did that deal with Scheifele. Because, right, like, because he wants to compete. He doesn't care where he plays. This isn't, like, news to anybody. The guy's only, trying to chase the cup right now. But if the Mark Scheifele deal doesn't get done, the Connor Hellebuck deal doesn't get done, so the Jets, I don't know, they looked at it and they said, okay, we're going to sign both. 7-year deals, $8.5 million. And the money, I'm not. Sorry, I just really quickly want to make my point here, and then I'll jump out here. You guys can go at it. But I like the. I don't absolutely despise the deals. I don't love the Scheifele one just because of the term, but the money I think is very fair. Like Carter said, the cap's gonna go up. That's fine. But one thing I wonder about, like if Dubois was still around and if Dubois was like, yeah, I'm gonna sign, or I'd be open to signing anyway, to even a 4-year deal. I wonder what would have happened with Mark Scheifele.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Now, one thing I wanted to kind of touch on, just as what we were talking earlier about kind of the team having a direction, is from what has come out today, the Jets now, like from what everything I've seen, it seems that the Jets have committed to the fact that come trade deadline, they are buyers. The problem is that we've all heard this before. As we heard, Jets, we're buying in, this is the year, and we're thinking, Timo Meyer's out there, Domi's out there, Nino Niederreiter, and that was about it. And Nemestikov. And so we were looking for kind of that big, bold, we're pushing, we believe in this team mentality, and then all we got was, I've been happy with Nino Niederreiter. He wasn't, my first choice. I've been happy with Nemestikov. He wasn't my first choice. And then just kind of a bit of a bullshit press conference of, we believe in the players we have, and that's why we did absolutely nothing.
Fantasy hockey. Yeah.
I
Blame the
haven't-
fans. Blame the fans.
I've seen that press conference about 1,000 times from Kevin Cheveldayoff. So the question is that if the Jets are buyers, when are we going to start effing buying?
I agree.
I don't see it.
Exactly.
We're a buyer, but we're not buying. That doesn't it just.
But see, that's the thing. We're buyers, but we're not going to spend too much money. Like we're bargain bin shopping all the time. And getting Nino was great. Getting Nino for a second was so good. And getting Nemestikov, I really didn't hate the move. It was fine. I really like Nemestikov. It's whatever.
Something more.
But I get there wasn't that deal out there. I understand that. I think that in the end, as much as I did want Timo Meier, it didn't make sense to give up what was given up, just the amount of prospects, especially with how bare at the time the Jets cupboard was. But eventually you got to do something, because what are you going to do? You're going to sign these guys and just say, we're going to roll with it. We're going to hope that Connor Hellebuck stops every puck. No, you got to add something to this group, and you have to be smart about it. Just like what Ottawa did with Jacob Chikrin.
Yes.
Last season. Get a guy that you can control for years. Get a guy, a star in his prime. There's no reason why Jacob Chikrin shouldn't have been a Jet last season. Jets could have absolutely swung something for him.
No, I totally agree. And again, what you'd said, Jackson, about the bargain bin kind of mentality that this organization has when it comes to acquiring talent, I blame that a lot on the Stastny acquisition at the time, because what you think about what they gave up and what they got from Stastny and the value he brought to this team, it was like a drug addiction pretty much. The first time you do heroin for Kevin Cheveldayoff, because that's all he's ever done ever since. He's looked for that guy that's underrated on the team he's on right now that he can get a little bit cheaper than what the big guy on them that they're trying to move right now. And then they bring him in, and he hopes that he gets that spark and that connection. And he's always chased that type of player now. Every time he goes to add to this team, it's always the wild card. Will he explode, or will he kind of just stay the same and be a whatever player here? And I'm not knocking any of the acquisitions, because like you guys said, Niederreiter I've really liked. I liked Nemestikov, always have. He's a good depth, solid guy. Not my first choices, but they fit in well, and they fit into this narrative and this plan that they have of retooling and trying to win now. I get that. It's just, at what point are you going to see the top first-line player and go out there and really try to get him? Because it's felt like they've never really tried to do that. They've always looked at finding an angle.
It's been the law
trade. The Kevin Hayes trade haunts Kevin Cheveldayoff.
Pretty much. I go after the big name.
Once, and now he's so scared.
And that trade wasn't even terrible. People really knock on that Kevin Hayes deal, but we got that first-round pick back. We got Ville Heinola back, and Kevin Hayes was serviceable for the Jets in the time that he was here, and still had a good, a decent playoff performance.
I never understood the hate for the Hayes trade. Obviously, he had an incredibly high bar to live up to with Stastny, but at the end of the day, I thought he played fine.
Me too.
I've made a couple videos about that actually, but sorry, little plug there, but you can go find those. But back to what you're saying, Jake.
Let's keep this rolling.
back to what you're saying.
At this point.
Yeah, no, but Jake, what you were saying with the Stastny deal, and him swinging that, it's kind of funny because you can parallel that with the trades that he's made and trying to get that trade to work again. And it's almost like well, if I can make that trade happen, I can make 2018 happen again. And it just feels like,
well, you've always talked
they're
about
like,
that.
we can do this again. Do you really think the Blues are trying to do what they did that one year? Are they gonna get some East Coast goalie, call him up and be like, well, here we go? And then everybody playing out of their mind, David Perron leading the charge. Like, what the hell was that? That was the most random thing that could have ever happened.
No, you're totally right, man. It's insanity.
That's not the blueprint. And you had Blake Wheeler in his prime. You had Mark Scheifele playing out of his mind. You had all these guys, unbelievable.
Prime Dustin Byfuglien
playing
playoff run.
heads, shoulders, knees, and toes over his, like, how good he is. And you're trying to recreate something that is unrecreatable.
Exactly.
And it's like, let's just move on here.
And that's kind of why I'm so hesitant to jump for joy for these contracts. Like, yes, I love that Hellebuck's on this team. And yeah, like you guys have said, like, at the end of the day, Mark Scheifele, I have my problems with as a player. But at the end of the day, I think that he can help this team win. He's an elite hockey player. Like, there's no taking that away from him. He had, 42 goals, 43 goals last year? He was insane last year when it came to that element. And I think he'll be very good, and like we've always seen from him there. But it's just the term and the length of it. It just screams with Zach Parise, Ryan Suter back in the day. Like, giving out 2 massive contracts like that, they're going to anchor you down going into the future. And they might help you win now. It keeps stars here. It keeps things going for the future. But I think ahead because I'm a fan. I don't think about, I think about winning this year. I also think about next year and the year after that because that's what it's like being a fan. I feel like we all like the prospect system for that reason. We like to look for the future. And I can't help but be dreadful because anytime the Jets have given out serious money to a guy like this, even in Blake Wheeler, the contract was not worth what we were getting on the ice. And at the end of the day, we still bought him out. So what? Now we're going to potentially buy out 2 guys at the end of this and take out that are $8.5 million. Like, think about that effect on the cap. And I know it's going to be going up, but when you're trying to win and all these other players are going to be signing for more money and things are going to be adjusted, you have to figure out a way to balance it. The NBA, you've got a high cap there, but they still have to have ways to balance it. Every league, when that has a higher salary cap than the NHL, they have the exact same problems because it doesn't mean it gets easier to sign players with money going up. And I just don't know that if this is going to, if at the end of the day, if this was the right choice. I would have rather them paid $10 million for like 5 years or something like that for each of these guys than give out the term that they did. I would have rather a lot more upfront money and for a shorter amount of time for this window that they're trying to win in, then be like, screw it, let's put banners of them up one day and have them be lifers, because that's what it felt like it was going. That press conference didn't feel like we're trying to win a Stanley Cup. It was like, ladies and gentlemen, here you go, your future Hall of Fame inductees in 10 years. Like, that's literally what it felt like. And I don't want to knock that, but you can't, like, it's just, come on. At the end of the day, you got to wake up. And this franchise, like I said, refuses to pick a direction. And this is a result of that. It's a good move. It's not a bad move. I can't knock it. The money isn't even that bad, for where they are right now. And like we've said, with contracts, it's just why? There's why now? Why this way? And what took you so long? Well, it's just this bullshit of them. Sorry, I'm almost done. But it's just this. It's like what Jackson said. This bullshit about what if Dubois had wanted to stay here? We're hyping Mark, like, what? You're getting comments of comparing Mark Scheifele to this version of the Jets' Dale, and now you're going to say that after signing this deal, but a few months ago, this guy wanted out of town, and the team was openly trying to shop him because like, it just doesn't make sense to me. I know hockey is this confusing world, and it's sports and all this, and blah, 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 has storylines and how things go, but it's just typical Jets. There's nothing concrete. There's no stable foundation. They're just piling on and hoping that they can do something.
If you look back at the time when they made the Dubois trade, it was almost like, okay, well, here's the next guy. Here's the guy after
Absolutely.
We'll sign him long term, the younger version, right? Like, obviously different players, but here's our future 1C. Oh, he wants out.
And that kind of goes into
Mark Scheifele. Look, we signed Mark Scheifele.
And that kind of
look what we did. That's what
it literally did. No, you're right, because it's so in your face. How many alerts have we all gotten from every social media account from the Jets of this bullshit of Mark Scheifele and this here's Mark Scheifele in 2014 or whatever it is with Hellebuck for their first time, and now it's like, okay, we get it. Like, we've all seen this stuff, but like, That wasn't the attitude 2 weeks ago when you asked them, so what's your future in Winnipeg? Well, I want to win. I really don't give a fuck about Winnipeg. I just want to win. Like, come on. Like, but now you're going to roll out the red carpet? Like, I don't want to be negative, but like at some point, the bullshit it's bullshit. Nothing. It's been 3 months. Like Carter said, 3 months since our last episode, and in 3 months we're supposed to imagine that the entire course that the organization was heading in changed because it's like, well, can't trade you, so we don't want to lose season ticket holders. Like, that's literally all it is. It's just typical True North. Let's buy Portage Place. That was too much money. Now we can't lose the Jets, and they can't not be profitable. Like, come on. Like, it's business decision, ladies and gentlemen. That's all this is right now. It's nothing more, nothing less. It's not about winning a cup.
Okay, thank you, Jake. The thing I gotta say is that the number one worry I've always had with the Jets, whether it was, and this has always been when it comes to approaching the time where these contracts were going to expire and they need to re-sign them, is that the Jets are so complacent in what they have. They're so set in one way, so sometimes unwilling to read the writing on the wall and just call it and just start a new direction and so I feel like that's got to be concerning. Like, I mean, we were talking about all the young guys. He's like, where's a guy like Rutger McGroarty gonna find himself? Where's Brad Lambert gonna find himself? Where's Chaz Lucius gonna find himself? All these young guys that want to make a crack
somewhere else.
But that's the thing. It's like, if the Jets are committing to buying and actually, buying, I'm not talking about going to the dollar store, something's going to have to give, because we have a lot of talent upcoming. And with us making this sort of commitment, this a little bit sends a bit of a sign of there's not enough room for all of you. So something's going to have to give. And so there's moves that I think all of us want to see on the defensive side of things to improve that for the Jets. And,
God, the fact that we're still talking about that just saddens me. I just have to put that out there. We've had this podcast for 4 years now, 3 years now, and every single episode there's at least a 5-minute chapter about how there's a logjam with the defense. Someone wake up that owns the Jets and has a job with them, please.
And don't even get me started, or actually, and I know this really grinds Jackson and Zach's gears. Don't even get me started on the Ville Heinola situation at the start of this season and how that has collapsed, and the deep depression that my brother and his friend Jackson have been spiraled into.
My poor girlfriend, man. She got to see the full. She got to watch me go from to not just talking for the next 30 minutes on how much I hate the Jets.
Yep.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like,
was that her first time?
No.
Okay, because I'm gonna say, there we go, because I don't know how many times I've had to do that.
That was probably the worst timing for that meltdown. The only reason I was watching that preseason game was just for the Ville encore. I'm like, here he is. Here's the guy. He's gonna be playing this year, and then. Oh, we'll see you at Christmas, I guess.
Hey, it'll be a Christmas gift at least. That's the one Christmas gift I'm looking forward to this year. Seeing Ville Heinola play again. All right, so we've been talking a lot, and with the season starts today. So I don't want to drag this on too much, if you know what I mean. So I want to ask you guys, with all this we've been talking about, where do you actually see the Jets finishing this year? Because we've talked about so much right now about how this. Because, think about it. We're literally, the puck drop is in, 24 hours now. And it's just, I don't even know where my head's at anymore. It's crazy to think, on the weekend, on Friday, going into this long weekend, I knew everything, I felt pretty good, felt confident about where, outside of the Ville Heinola situation. I think we all had a good idea of what the Jets were, kind of what this season was going to be going into it with the storylines and all that. But now, all of a sudden, these contracts, my head's still spinning. I don't know what to expect now. I don't know what this season should be. The expectations have to be high now, I feel like. I just wonder what, because I saw this team fighting for a wild card this year, maybe third in the Decentral at best. And we're we got cup aspirations. I just again, it baffles me. So I'm just curious, you guys, where you see them finishing.
Well, Cup aspirations, I think, is premature, and I know that all the players in the locker room are saying, "Oh, we got a fire under us now." Like, okay, right? We'll see. You guys
Have that
haven't had a
fire in
fire under
January.
you, and what?
Can we have that fire in January, please?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's great. You had a fire under you last year too. When you were, starting the year with Rick Bonus, he was the guy that came in and he was showing you the way how to play hockey again. And then what did you do in January, right? Like we've seen this episode before, so I'm not getting like super excited. I don't understand the random hype that the Jets are now Cup contenders because everybody's excited. Like, okay. Like I don't know. I like the forward core.
At the start of last year. We had a good start. Look where that went. Straight to shit.
Exactly. But like look at the forward core this year compared to last year. Way deeper, in my opinion, better. I think anyway.
I think
on a
it is.
consistency basis anyway.
Yep.
I think that Cole Perfetti can carry good consistent play better than a guy like Pierre-Luc Dubois could. He was very streaky. Will Gabe Velarde be cool? Maybe, right? We'll see. If he plays on the top line, he's probably going to have at least a 60-70 point year. So that's fun. So, okay, the forward core's fine. And everything's good there. The goaltending's elite. And then you look at the defense and you go, oh.
Okay, only pinch Pino. What's happening with him?
Again, like we've been talking about for years now. That's just
the D is very mid.
Needs a bounce back season, or
the D is mid. Yes, quoting Jackson for that first episode going into the 2023 season.
Nate mid. I would argue that like Morrissey and DeMello are gonna be more or less fine. If like worst case they're mediocre and they fall off, whatever. They're gonna be good. Sandberg and Pionk. Sandberg's great. I think he deserves a top 4 role. I think it's fine.
Pionk.
But Pionk, ew. He played so bad in the preseason. He was so bad. Him and Dylan were atrocious together. I'm hoping that they can be okay when they're not together. I think Dylan and Schmidt played very well together last season, and that's kind of what the bottom pairing looks like it could be this year, so I'll see how that goes.
The thing I'm so confused about is that Brendan Dillon in the season last year, not a fan. Brendan Dillon in the playoffs, not so bad. I actually didn't mind Brendan Dillon in the playoffs. But the thing is that as much as you can't not show up for 82 games and then show up in the playoffs, because I mean with this team we don't even know if we're making the playoffs.
Are we talking about Brendan Dillon or are we talking about Adam Lowry?
That's Captain Adam Lowry.
Yeah, we haven't even touched on that.
Yes.
Oh my god, like
Yeah,
I kind of forgot about that. Now that's all I'm thinking about. God damn you.
I don't think it's bad. I don't think he's sorry.
It's not about the captaincy. All I want to say real quick about that is does anyone else find it fucking hilarious that Adam Lowry is the captain and Mark Scheifele is now a Jet for the next 7 years? Like, come on. That is the only thing I meant about that. I have no problem with Adam Lowry, but when I saw that game happen, I was like, okay, that has to be it, right? Like, that's the Scheifele's been kicked out. Like, that's obviously the sign. So that's just another thing I had to throw into that because it's just funny as hell to me that he's our Dale, but he's not the captain.
Yeah.
After saying he's our Dale makes it way better.
Like
he's our Dale, but not really.
Like, how far out was he? I wanted to say this 10 minutes ago, but then we kept talking and I fucking forgot. I'm so glad it got brought back up again. But how the fuck, if you are Mark Scheifele, how are you sitting in the room as they're congratulating? I love it too. When immediate availability, Mark Scheifele happens to be at a golf course or some whatever bullshit excuse they gave up. He's not available. He's not at the meeting. Like, Josh Morrissey did a media availability in fucking Vegas, and it was all handled well. Mark Scheifele, no dice. No dice from Mark. Like, that's so weird now to me that he's there. He's just there. And, like, it's even funnier now because Chipman did his interview where he's like, yeah, I heard from all the way back in 2011 about Adam Lowry being a future captain. It's like, did you? Did you really? Was that the guy?
Yeah, was it Kevin Sawyer? Did he say that? Like, come on, man. Like, from who? From Adam's dad? Like it's just Whatever.
Right.
Don't. I don't want to talk about Mark Chipman today. I was having a good day.
So Jackson, did you say where the Jets were going to finish? Did we get to that point?
Well, I wanted to get into it, yes, but at the end of the day, where do the Jets finish? They probably finish. I'm gonna say third. I'm gonna say third, a cautious third. If
Okay.
they finish there, but just wait, just wait. I just want to finish. I don't see any way that the Jets, take over Dallas. I think Dallas is an incredible team. I think they're going to be very fun this year. Colorado, I think, takes a step back with Landeskog not playing and just that roster playing so much hockey. And kind of like what you're seeing from the Capitals now, just so much hockey with that group, and to an extent with the Lightning, just kind of wearing them down a little bit. So I think the Jets probably finish third. Maybe I think first is far and away Dallas. I think it's a closer contest between second and third, but I think Avalanche definitely take it over Winnipeg. And then it's going to be like a 2 to 3, 4 point difference between the Jets and the Wild. But I think the Wild are just going to take that one step back far enough to where the Jets, maybe have a little bit more consistency with a little bit more depth.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about the defense, but if they kind of try to fix something there, if Billy comes in mid-season and he turns out to be good, then cool, maybe they're fine, right? I don't know, but I just think that
80 games. How about that?
yes, well that's
now
why
that
we
we
got
have-
Brossoit.
But anyway, I was gonna
as
say,
long as we use him.
I have the Jets finishing third in the Central and being knocked out in the second round of the playoffs. I think they actually might.
Second round. There we go. I can
Yeah,
come out for.
yeah,
You know what? I'll come out for one win this year at least, boys. It's all that
You
matters.
know what though? Like that's
Yes.
the thing. Like and you know what? That's gonna be the patting on the back. And I don't want to say that this team is anything different because losing in the second round means fuck all. It honestly means it's honestly worse than losing in the first round, given the fact that you're getting a worse pick in a way, and you didn't win at all. But I know, Jackson, you're shocked. True North has assured us.
That is not what True North has been telling me. Zach.
Yeah, but no, I think this team is better. I think this team is better, has better depth, and honestly, too, in a nightmare situation, we finally have a backup goalie that if Hellebuck is honestly being read like a fucking book for like 8 games, like you know what I mean, like for like 3 games in a row, yeah, go for it, give it a shot. Like I think this team maybe rattles off one series win, probably in like 6 games or something. So it's gonna be on home ice.
Yep. Oh
Anyway,
yeah.
Laurent Brossoit is our backup. I don't want to see 3
Yeah.
Hellebuck games in a row.
They're gonna.
I don't ever want to see that this season.
Well,
But no, they're
I
gonna probably get second round and then lose in like 5. And that's
Yeah.
gonna be. And it's gonna be game 1 and the last 4, and then we're gonna be right back where we started.
where have we seen that before?
Right,
Yeah.
Carter. Where do you think we're finishing?
I really juggle between the 3rd and 4th spot with the Wild. either being
A
just
doubter
as good.
amongst us. A
Well,
doubter.
no, because
Doubter?
A touter.
listen up, Zachary Nolan.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
The thing, what it comes down to for me is first off, how is our defense gonna do? And because I'm just exactly, but then in addition to that, we have Brossoit, and it seems that we can use him, and finally give Hellebuck a little bit less of a workload. But just wait till we signed him for 7 years. We need to make sure we get our money's worth. So we need to play him 85 games a year, and Laurent Brossoit can ride the pine for every Nolan Hockey Podcast segment. So the thing is that like I'm gonna say 3rd, but I wouldn't be surprised if we finish 4th. I'm going to hope and pray that we utilize Laurent Brossoit enough so that way Hellebuck, isn't like dying when he gets on the ice because he's so tired from carrying this team.
I love that your X Factor player is not Gabe Vilardi. No, it's Laurent Brossoit.
I love Velarde. Hey,
I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of
this shit you're
was a
trying to
good
pull
move.
on me right now. It's not packing. All right? Gabe Velarde is the man. So you cut that out right now.
Hellebuck playing 10 to 12 less games in the regular season with a guy that can hopefully win you at least half of those is so big, considering that you need him with this roster. with how bad the defense is at the moment, you need him to be big in the playoffs, and the guy has been burnt toast in the playoffs because he gets there. He's dead.
like
He's been playing.
23, I think, in the playoffs.
His back
Sorry?
is broken from
I
carrying.
think it's like officially, I think his record's 17-23 in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's like it's not great, right? So we'll see what happens with all that. But the backup goalie is a big part, I think, to success. I don't know. I like this team, but they definitely do need to go shopping at the deadline to get
Absolutely.
deeper than they are right now. And I think this year, I don't know. I feel like they might, but I said that last year too.
Yeah.
But we're looking way too ahead at the moment.
Absolutely.
Who is your guys' breakout candidate? Who's the
I'm
guy
okay.
that's
I'm glad
gonna
you actually
go-
asked that. I'm glad you asked
Wow.
that.
That was good.
I think honestly, so I've got two. I think that we're really gonna see Dylan Sandberg really blossom this year into a legit top 4 defenseman. I really think that this is gonna be kind of that growth year for him. I'll also throw Cole Perfetti in there as well. I think that this could be like a really big year for them there. But
Jake's
the
just
one,
naming the whole
no,
roster.
but the underrated one that I want to talk about, I think Mason Appleton's finally going to explode this year. That's my
Oh,
big
no,
one.
he's
Yes,
fucking
it is.
gone.
Yes, it is.
You're the-
Fuck you guys. I think Mason Appleton's going to finally come back to that form. I think so. Why not? Why not?
Mason Appleton's.
So this is
I-
We signed him to that terrible contract. I want to have some faith, okay?
Fucking not.
Okay,
I'm gonna
next.
I think the first two picks
Hate
that
me
Jake
all you
had are
want.
safe. I think those are the safe picks, and I agree with those picks. The third guy that I want to put a little bit under the sun, I don't want to do Velarde because I feel like Velarde's another obvious pick. I want to
Zach
see.
watched my video.
feel like
I knew
I know
someone was going to say it. I knew someone was going to say it. Say it. Say it.
Is it Winnipeg Gold Eyes legend himself?
What?
The guy you met at Gold Eyes?
No, it's not Morgan Barron. It's
I know who it is already.
I
I
know.
was waiting for Zach to be like, he's got the dog in him. He's gonna get going.
No, I've
this
got
year, boys." Like-
Flurry as a breakout
Yeah.
candidate.
Yep,
Yeah,
I
because-
knew it. I knew it.
I think that on the second
Jackson,
power
out of
play-
respect for you, I didn't say that, but I wanted to. Just gotta throw shade at Zach there for that.
That's what I-
Come on, bro.
Hey, keep talking about Kapari. Keep talking about him. Keep talking about him.
it is-
Zach's
it
what's
is-
No, you can talk to the rest of them, Kupari. You can
it
guess.
is- It is Gabriel Velarde. That is the answer. Gabriel Velarde is having a breakout year. I'm all on that Velarde train.
The renaissance of Nate
I-
Schmidt.
You seem
Yeah.
extremely confident in that, Carter.
Yes, I do. Do you know how many years Gabriel Velarde was my Discord profile picture?
Too
When he was
many.
not a
Oh,
Jet,
that's
and
true.
He happens to be a Jet. Oh my God, man, it's happening. It was destined to come true. So because of that, and for that reason alone, it's gonna be Velarde.
Gabe Velarde, 120-point season coming soon.
Inbound. Make your
Heard it
bets, ladies
first.
and gentlemen. You heard it here
My
first.
breakout guy was gonna be Rasmus Kapari, but Zach unlawfully took him away from me. But I do like him a lot. I think that he's very good, and I think that he could legitimately play third line minutes if he continues to do what he did in the preseason.
The captain
Sorry?
on the fourth line? How dare you?
Well, no, we know that.
He
I
just
don't know.
doesn't have
We-
looks.
you know, well, yeah. Well, he's not as good in the room, so will he jump up into the top 9? Right? I don't know. So whatever, take that as you will. But I think Kapari is very fun. He's very fast. He goes to the net. He's mean. He's skilled. He's like Adam Lowry if he was fast and good. But that's all that I have to say.
Boom,
I like
roasted.
I like Adam Lowry. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes Adam Lowry is an incredibly bad black hole of offense. We saw last season. He went, 41 games without a goal? 8 assists?
37.
37
gotta
was it?
say,
Okay.
I
good.
I love when Adam Lowry got the C. Everyone was excited, and then I see Jackson message the group chat, and he's like, "Holy shit, the meat riding right now for Adam Lowry."
Yes!
He's not wrong though. He's not wrong though.
He sounds
Adam
like
I'm
Lowry.
glad someone brought that up. I'm glad someone brought that
Adam
up.
Lowry does not play every shift
He's
with
not.
Let him cook.
He
Let him cook.
doesn't.
Let him cook.
No, it's true. It's true. I just let's hear it.
He doesn't. he that was the craziest thing to me. How many people were like, this is the right decision, and I agree with it. Like, I don't care what 3 years for Adam Lowry to be the captain. He'll be gone. Sure. Like, I don't care. You can pass it on to Rucker.
That Appleton contract after. You know he
Yes.
is.
Yes.
You mean
But
break
whatever,
up-
right? Like,
Mason
I'm saying, what I'm saying is you're gonna move on into the next wave, probably, right? With Rucker or Barlow gonna be the captain, probably.
Mark
right? One of the two.
Scheifele.
Shut up. I don't want to. We're not talking about that right now. We're not talking. We're not talking.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Please
we're
continue.
Not talking about that right now.
I
We're
didn't
not
say
talking about
nothing.
that
I
right
didn't
now.
say
I
nothing.
need to talk about Adam. I just need to talk about Adam Lowry for a minute, because the amount of people going, he plays every shift. He's such a hard worker. Look at this guy go. Did you guys not watch 70 games of the year last year? He came on at the end, and he's a big reason why the Jets did make the playoffs in the end, when they went on that little mini win streak when they needed to, or else they would be eliminated against teams like Nashville and San Jose and all those other
That we
trash
barely
teams.
beat.
He did his part, and he was a dog in the playoffs. He scored that goal to send that game to overtime. Jets in Vegas in Game 3, and we all lost our minds. It was one of the coolest moments ever. But it'd be cool if he chipped in a little more, and I think that he has, with Iafallo, I think better chance of doing that this season. I think he's better set up. I think that Barron or even Kapari at some point could end up on the third line, and I think that will help Adam a lot. But I just wish that he could do a little bit more, because he was doing a lot of public skating last season. And to go out and say that he is the hardest worker and he's the man and everything like that, it's laughable. Sorry, but
No, you're not wrong.
that situation.
I felt the exact same way. I didn't want to be so mean about it when the captaincy was first given out, but I felt the exact same way. Guy can't, if you like what we said, 37 games without a goal as a third line center in the NHL. That is unacceptable, especially when he's making the money he's making. He's not some bum that just on a winningless team. That is just unacceptable. And I'm not gonna again. I know he's got his benefits, but you can't hype a guy up and tell me that he works hard out there than anyone else and go 37 games at a goal. That just doesn't make sense to me.
Sorry, one thing just kind of unrelated that I've been trying to do lately, when big news like this comes out, when there's a double identical 7-year deal for two 30-year-olds, or I don't know, the Adam Lowry captaincy, I try to wait a little bit before I make a video, because if I hop on and I give my initial thoughts, it is just the biggest hellstorm of I hate the Winnipeg Jets, and then an hour later I'll be like, damn, that didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. So I kind of wait now, and I kind of sit back. I unloaded onto you guys first, and then after.
You right now, because it's not gonna work.
Yeah, I just wait, and I don't know, because I need a few hours to articulate my thoughts lately on the Jets, because they are so wild. They just do anything.
No, they're so confusing.
We're gonna do that.
I try to stay away from it as much as I can nowadays. Outside of everything that I need to know from my Twitter and my notifications, I'll read it and then put it away. But I try to keep my commentary about him to a minimum now, because it's just too much. I look back about it. I used to make videos almost every day ranting about what was going on, and it's just why? This team's always gonna be that way. They've been that way for 12 years now. It's just, why waste the energy on? No, but it's just
taking a step back. He is the reason it takes so long to make calls.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Too busy for you fuckers.
I had a commenter one time tell me that because of my negative interpretation of the team after they lost 5 or 6 straight last year, that it wasn't going to help anybody, especially Rick Bowness, and that my video didn't, bring
need to exist.
Yeah, no, it didn't bring the
fire. People, you need to inspire.
Well, that's what
people.
he was saying.
You're an inspirational speaker. You're not.
Yes.
Fuck your opinion. You're here. You're
That's
here
what I am.
to kiss the ass and.
The Jets have never done anything wrong. The Jets have never once done anything wrong.
Print all
Never.
the statues. Jake, should we have a Mason?
God bless Connor Hellebuck. Here we go.
Should we have Mason Appleton statue?
Okay, you know what? You guys can cook me all you want. If Mason Appleton has 20 goals this year, if that happens.
This guy out of
You know what you need? You need.
I'll be happy.
You need you need the statue of Mark Scheifele, and you have the statue of Scheifele, and then like the Hellebuck one is like on the other like side of the city, because it's Scheifele doesn't backtrack. He never makes it all the way to Hellebuck. So just make sure those statues are as far apart as possible. Except for when he does, in which case, Jake Evans.
Ooh.
I think we're good, lads.
That was interesting. Every time we talk about the Jets, I don't know why I feel the exact same way. Just like this, like malcontent, but like, okay, what the fuck is gonna happen? It's just like, I just swear to God, like every time it's like, okay, so this is good, that's super negative, this is typical, this is that, because it's welcome to being a Jets fan.
There's never a moment where I'm like, I'm excited to watch the next game, dude, and that's the only emotion.
Yes, there was one day, and then Billy Hanela got injured.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
There was one game where we all felt the same.
I said it's Billy time before puck drop for that game on Twitter. I made an actual tweet.
It's Billy time.
Yep. So yeah, we're feeling pretty good.
That's bad. That's bad. But like, I don't know. Like, I'm excited for the season.
I'm just excited to see what happens.
I am too. It's like I'm about to watch a car crash. Like, I know, but it's like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's like watching a lively video. Like,
a fender bender, or if a car is gonna be flipping down the road. Like,
yes, no, it's like watching a lively video. There's just some guy sitting in a steel mill right now. He's having a great time. When's the big saw blade gonna come and cut his head off? Right?
No, you're not wrong, man. It's
I know it's coming. He doesn't. So
seriously, Jackson,
we'll see what happens.
You said something so appalling that Zach stopped slouching in his chair. Like,
I know, yeah. That caught his ear.
You made him sit up straight. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's the first time he's been in frame for like 20 minutes.
No, he has. He's been in frame.
I've been in frame. When it's long talking and I'm not talking, I just go.
Yeah.
I just kind of go around. Like, I'm moving shit like this. Like, I can't.
Huh. But what do you guys... do we have any closing thoughts, or is there anything absolutely monumental you guys want to get off your chest real quick before we end?
In game one, they make the playoffs outright. Same prediction as last year. The Jets win game one of the year, they're making the playoffs.
All right.
Yes.
I'm going to go out there and say... job's not done, Chevy. That's my message to start the season. I'm excited.
Podcast Discord.
Why am I not surprised? I don't want to stay on it too long, but my message really is that for one simple reason: Jets fans, do not get caught up with these contracts. Do not get caught up in the member berries. We need to win. Do not forget where we were, how we were feeling at the Young Stars tournament a month ago. Do not forget that feeling about the future. And to management, if you want to win now, prove it. Ball's in your court. You've already done it with these contracts, saying you want to win and you want to keep the guys here, do some more. Stop settling. That's my message for the whole season, is just don't settle. Like, really go for it. You got nothing to lose anymore. If you, that's my whole thing. Anyone else?
This man cooking. I think this is a good place to end it. You took the words out of my mouth. I mean, it perfectly sums up the pod. Carter, you want to take us out?
I know you're itching to give a certain shout out to a certain Discord server run by a certain podcast.
I already did.
Oh, you don't want to do it again, good sir? Are you sure about that?
I want to do it again.
To the one person that watches this for the entirety of the 48 minutes, do you not want him to remind him again?
You decided to not do it at the start. Who will listen now? Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe if you have not already. Me and Zach are going to be streaming the game tomorrow, or I guess today. So tune in for that.
Shit.
It'll be a great time. I had to plug something, Jake. Shut up. But yeah, until next time. Huzzah.
All right. Peace out.
See ya.